Alright there folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you. All done with round 1, we move into round 2, you'll be glad to know. I'm going to touch on these matches very shortly. Before we do, I'm going to ask you to like the video, get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're not. Appreciate it if you did. Not long ago just hit 1000. See if we can get to that 50 mark by the end of the week. I'd be very pleased with that. If you want to support the channel, there is a link in the description, or you can just say thanks under the video. Regarding the thanks, we had a belter one last night. Dimmy, once again, $50. Happy days. Very grateful for that. I appreciate you. But very well. First things first, how did we get on today? I'll go first. Absolutely no dice whatsoever for me personally. I had Matteo Arnaldi and Joao Fonseca, both of them got smoked. It is what it is. You know me, I'm not gonna sit here trying to justify the actions or the performances of said players. It is what it is. It's the first round. I can live with that. But yeah, don't be shy. Share with the group. Did you win? Did you lose? Did you come close? Let me know. And now that's out the way. And before we get into these, actually, I said it a few weeks ago, but I'm definitely gonna do a tournament recap at the end of this one because we've only had 2 days and I feel like there's a lot that we need to talk about so far. So if you're up for some tournament recaps for these big ones, please do get on me. Let me know how you feel about that. But we'll talk about these for now. First off, we've got Dimitrov, Francesco Pesaro. At first glance, you'd just say Dimitrov, right? Heavily favoured to get this one done. Now the head-to-head is 1-0 to the Italian. That was earlier on in the season, over in the Australian Open. If I'm correct, yeah, that's right. He did take the first set, 7-5, and then Dimitrov had to pull out in the second. I remember being very concerned watching that. Now, last time out against Gabe Diallo, I was very worried. I did not like what I got from Dimitrov in those last 2 sets. But saying that, you know, prior to that match, he's been really good. He was really good leading up to it. And I do think if he would have ran into Pesaro leading up to that, he probably would have beat him. You've got to admit that. He's only been beat by De Minaur on the clay so far. And obviously the Gabe Diallo match the other day. Now I recall saying it would take quite some consideration to touch Dimitrov after what I've seen. It is a bit too soon. 1.2, he is. 1.2. Look, Pesaro was a dog today against Seng, and he looked really good in that. Bageled him in the first and then won the third 6-3. Massive spread. Be a really big spread. He is at home. We'll see what happens. Although I will mention, as we've learned from round 1, some of these Italians playing at home, you know, that's still not enough, is it? It's still not enough to get the effort out of them, so maybe it won't count in this one. Maybe it will. Pesaro plus the points. I'm not just going to pick that purely as a Dimitrov fade because he was shit against Diallo. I'm not expecting him to play like that again. But what I will say is this, if you're hesitant to take him early doors in this one, the door closes, don't it? The door is closing very quickly on this. The later we get into the week, you're probably not going to take him. So I do think it's now or never. 1.2 after what we got in Madrid, that's very steep. I do think he wins. As far as a bet, I'd probably look at Pesaro plus the points, and then we'll move on to Bachiaga and Khachanov. Odds are pretty much identical on this one. Once again, at first glance, you'd look at it and you'd say Khachanov, but I said Bachiaga was really good. I didn't expect him to do Sonego the way he did. I mean, come on, you've got to do better than that, haven't you? First round in your home Masters. But it is what it is. Can't take anything away from the Argentine there. 6-2, 6-3. Khachanov, I mean, he looked fairly decent in Barcelona, I'll give him that. Decent enough in Barcelona. He's won, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his last 10. Probably got more out of him the past month or two than what we did at the start. 9 and 10 on the year, 4 and 3 on the clay. As opposed to Bachiaga, 21 and 12 on the clay. We mentioned that yesterday or the day before. Once again, I just look at the dog with the points. It's been quite a while, and although Khachanov's got he's got more wins in the past few weeks than what I've seen him do in quite some time. He's still quite away. He's quite the distance away from the Khachanov that I know, especially the Khachanov that should be 1.2 as a favourite in a matchup like this. But Bachiaga just munched on Sonego today. He did. I feel like that'll do wonders for your confidence. You must definitely fancy yourself coming into this one against Khachanov. I say he's won 5 of his last 10. Kyrgios, Cam Norrie, Munar, Davidovich Fekina, quarterfinals, Barcelona. Alright, that's alright. And then Riley Opelka. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, his losses as well, to be fair, it wouldn't be fair to not mention them. Ben Shelton, Dimitrov, Medvedev, Holger Rune, Tommy Paul. No shame in that, really, is the... I don't know, it's a tough one to call. Personally, I don't think Karen Khachanov should be that big of a favourite in this one. Maybe we could take advantage of that. Take Bachiaga plus the points. He's good on the clay, man. He's good. If he can fist Sonego like that, he should be able to keep this close against the current version, the 2025 version, the 50-50 version of Karen Khachanov. That's just my opinion. But moving on, got ATP Italian Greek sport. Not going to waste too much time on this one. We could talk about this one for hours, and it would always result in the same sort of fucking answer, wouldn't it? I mean, head-to-head's 2-1. They played each other last week, Monte Carlo. Not last week. Was it last month? I don't know. Monte Carlo, it was fairly recently. Madrid was last week. I'm getting mixed up. Artifice beat them 3 sets, tiebreaker, obviously. Neither one of these have beat the other in straight sets. And it's just the way the Greek sport, innit? We do the same every time. And it's like printing cash with this guy. You just take the over, take him for a set, depending the price. He's a decent dog in this as well, so Greek sport for a set would be alright. Total games played, tiebreaker. There's multiple ways you could approach this. All one of them equally as safe as well, if you'd ask me. Artifice is on a 2-game losing streak. That loss to Commissani. Now I know Commissani is good, but from the position he was in, Artifice should have never lost that. Never. He should be more than rested and good to go in this one. But Italian Greek sport, he did get that done against Khachanov today. Very close. He didn't look too convincing in the first set, but sorted his shit out, rallied back, and just pummeled him in the end. Greek sport with a game in the bag while he's in a bit of rhythm. We all know that could be a very difficult task for the best of them. I'm just going to sit and wait and see what version of Artifice turns up. 1.45, 1.5? I don't know. Considering he has beat him not that long ago on the clay, it's not that bad, but I don't think it's cut and dry as he just comes in here and smokes Italian Greek sport. I think he's going to struggle. So we'll move on to Jordan Thompson and Binach. Once again, I haven't really got a read on this one. Head to head is 5-2 to Brandon Nakushima. They've never played each other on the clay. Rather familiar with each other's game, to say the least. Last time out in Madrid, I thought Binach looked good. He put in some decent sets, did he not? Straight sets against Offner, straight sets against Flavio Cobolli. He even took one off Daniel Medvedev until it ultimately unravelled for him. Jordan Thompson, like I've mentioned, that's 5 in his last 10 now. His last 3 wins have all come against Gio and Pechi Pericard. I can't go off that. You're gonna have to beat more than one player for me to be able to get a read on you. Like, what's going on with this? It's so funny, innit? But as was the head-to-head in that matchup. I feel like the head-to-head may tell a very small tale in this. 5-2 to Bina. I don't know. He's won. I don't know. It probably doesn't even matter. Like I said, none of them have come on the way of clay. Thompson has went 2-2 on the surface so far this season, and Bina has went 4-4. And you're getting Nakushima around 1.4, 1.5. You think he beats him? Are you that confident Bina comes in and just beats Jordan Thompson? I'm not so sure. That's more of a coin flip to me. I'd have said that was more of a coin flip, disregarding the odds and the head-to-head. I'd think Jordan Thompson was just as likely to get that one done as Bina, but apparently not. So we'll wait and see. And we've got Alexei Popyrin, Carlos Taberna. Once again, not a lot of meat on the bone to start us off. Over in round 2, I mean, Alexei Popyrin's that 1.4. He's just been beat by Stan Wawrinka on the Challenger Tour. It's not personal. I don't mean anything by it. I'm just saying it is what it is. 3-game losing streak. Back to losing ways by the looks of it. It was the way he's been so crap all season, and then we come to Monte Carlo, and then he takes out Hugo Humbert, Francis Tiafoe, Casper Ruud, makes it to the quarterfinals and gets beat by Davidovich Fokina. And then he's lost to Bublik, and then just got beat by Stan Wawrinka in 3. In 3 as well. I don't know how I feel about that. Carlos Taberna's been good. He's been good all week, although admittingly not ranked nowhere near as high as Alexei Popyrin. I think he's a lot more suited to the surface. 20-8 on the clay on the year, as opposed to 3-3 for Alexei Popyrin. The guy has only went 5-10 in total. I'm not ready. I'm still not ready. I thought maybe Monte Carlo would have been the turning point for Alexei Popyrin, but apparently not. Apparently not. Carlos Taberna is 2.8. 2.8 as a dog. Now, they've played each other once before on the Challenger, on the clay, back in 2022. Probably doesn't mean a lot coming into this, right? I fancy Taberna, plus the points for a set or whatever. If Popyrin's just going to turn up to Rome and snap into form and get this one done and look brilliant, then so be it. It is what it is. He's given me nothing all season to suggest that he's going to do that. He's had one set, a set or two, or even like the couple of games of Monte Carlo where he's looked alright, but I don't know. I need to see more. I'm not that confident. I'm certainly not 1.4 confident he gets this done. I would much rather roll a dice on the dog in that spot. So we shall crack on with Alexander Müller, Stefanos Tsitsipas, head to head, 1-0 to Tsitsipas. I think he gets it done. I think Tsitsipas should be getting this one done. 1.2, yeah, it's quite a big favourite. Beat him last year on the hard court over in Shanghai. I imagine that he stands, I'd say, a better chance of beating him on the clay. I think Muller's better on the clay too. He's been really good this year. And we just knew he was going to beat Jiri Lehečka. The upset, that didn't really feel like that much of an upset. I will talk about that. Like I said, tournament recap. It needs to happen at the end of the week. But Tsitsipas, since we've come onto the clay, he's lost to Musetti twice and Artifice once. Excuse me. There's no shame in that, really. That's not too bad. Alexander Müller. He'll win some, he'll lose some, he'll win some, he'll lose some. I know he did win the title earlier on in the season, but I think it's safe to say that form is somewhat faded, ever so slightly. 3 sets against Jiri Lehečka. Tsitsipas, I feel like as far as the surface goes, these slow conditions over in Rome, it's as good as it's going to get for a player like Tsitsipas, for the backhand of Tsitsipas. If you can't take him early doors at a tournament like this, you're probably not going to end up taking him all week. So I think now's your chance. 1.2, very steep. Very steep. But he's been flying. He's been flying so far this year, 16-9. Muller's just as good though, 17-12. 5-3 on the clay for the Greek, 9-7 for the Frenchman. I'd be going with Tsitsipas to get it done. I don't know how he's going to do it, or how easy or how hard he's going to make it for himself, but I would imagine he's got more than enough in the bag to get past Alexander Müller over in Rome. We've got probably one of the quickest ones of the night. There's a couple of these, but this is the first of the quick ones. Dusan Lazovic, Carlos Alcaraz. I'm going to go with, it's obviously Carlos Alcaraz in it. However you want to take him, big spread, 5.5. I think it's 5.5 round the boat. Probably covers it. I understand Dusan Lazovic does tend to have a bit of a sleeper tournament in his locker every now and then, but I think it's a big ask. They played each other 4 times before. Alcaraz has took every single one of them, and he'd have covered that last time out in Miami 2023 for those that care. Yeah, he's never won a set. They've played each other in the Australian Open as well. Yeah, I think the writing's on the wall. Dusan Lazovic does not get past Carlos Alcaraz, in my opinion. I think we're halfway there. It's sad. Halfway there. If you're still watching, like the video if you haven't. Get yourself subscribed if you're not. Appreciate it if you did. We've got Alex Mikkelson and Laszlo Djere head to head is 1-0 to Laszlo Djere. That was 2 years ago over in Winston-Salem. I didn't think Alex Mikkelson was going to win that challenger title over in Portugal. I didn't, but he did. Lucanardi, Kecmanovic, Pellegrino, just a couple of the wins. Laszlo Djere's been good, man. He's been super reliable on the clay this season. 16-5 to be precise. Alex Mikkelson 6-2. 6-2, that's not bad. Seems to have discovered something last week. Last week, wasn't it? Yeah, last week. How's he going to hold up against Laszlo Djere? I knew he was going to beat Echeverry. Decent odds for that. You know, providing he's fit and he's good to go, he looked good enough in that 6-3, 6-2. I think Alex Mikkelson just may struggle. You're getting Laszlo Djere around 1.5. I don't feel too comfortable taking it at that. I'm not that confident he gets this one done. Say, Mikkelson getting that title over on that's clay, isn't it? The Estoril Challenger. Yeah. Alex Mikkelson getting that title over there, that definitely was not on my bingo card. So maybe he's still got just a little bit left. I don't imagine he's going to be absolutely goosed coming into this. He played 4 games, few days off. Well, 5 to be precise by the time this comes out. He should be fit and good to go against Laszlo Djere. How he's going to hold up, I'm not so certain. I'm losing my voice. You'd have to go with what you've seen so far with Laszlo Djere. You've beat him on the hard court 2 years ago. I imagine you can beat him on the clay in 2025. Simple. Laszlo Djere, however you want to take him. And then we'll crack on with Cam Norrie, Daniel Medvedev. Played each other 3 times before. Cam Norrie has never taken a set off of Daniel Medvedev. He tends to have a fairly strong first set, and then he just goes to excuse me. He just goes to shit. He goes to utter shit in that second set. For instance, most recent ones: 7-5, 6-1, 7-5, bagel, 6-3, 6-1. Yeah, all on the hard court as well, so that does change things a little bit. Last time out, we seen Medvedev in Madrid against Casper Ruud, and there's no shame in that. Now, although we know Daniel Medvedev doesn't really like the clay that much, he's probably played his best tennis so far this season since we have come onto it. He's went 5-2, is that? 5-2 on the clay, as opposed to 6-4 for Cam Norrie. What are you to do with this? Cam Norrie didn't even qualify, and then he just drills Christopher O'Connell. You just can't write it. Do I think he's going to beat Medvedev? Probably stands a slightly better chance over on the clay, but as is usually the case for most of these top-ranked players, if you can't take him early doors, when are you going to be able to take him, Should be able to back Medvedev in a spot like that, 1.3. I imagine he makes that head-to-head 4-0. We've got Hugo Humbert, Corentin Moutet. You know my policy on Corentin Moutet. Not only that, double Frenchie squared. That always spells some French fuckery. Odds are quite close as well, 1.7 for Hugo Humbert. I do not touch these Moutet games, no matter how bad he's playing, no matter how good he's playing. And not only that, I mean, Hugo Humbert, what's his hand like? I mean, Hugo Humbert he's essentially the Jeremy Beadle of the ATP Tour with his fucking fucked up hand. I can't trust it. Still can't trust it. It's too soon for Hugo Humbert. I said that a few weeks ago after the was it the Madison match? I think it was the Fabio Madison game. Don't quote me on it, but yeah. Anyone has any information regarding the wrist or whatever it is of Hugo Humbert, please do let me know. But I'm out of that one, and it is a shame because you all know I do love me some Hugo Humbert. But we'll move on to Musetti, Otto Vertin. Easy as you like. I'm not going to be taking him, but I would definitely think it's safe to assume Lorenzo Musetti gets this one done. Otto Vertin did pull off quite the upset, in my opinion, against Ahmad Medvedev. Yeah, didn't see that one coming. I really didn't. Straight sets too. What are you going to do about that? 6-4, 6-4. You just seen Musetti get beat by Draper over in Madrid. But as we all know, we've spoke about Musetti quite a lot the past few weeks. He has been fantastic, number 9 in the world. Say something about that. 10-2 on the clay. 1.08 as a favourite. There you go. I expect nothing less than a Lorenzo Musetti win today. And we've got a few more. Got El Chapo, Villiers Garbas. I'm not bothering. Like, just quick fire for this one, innit? I know Chapo is a better player. I know he's a better player. He's unbelievable. He has definitely got more than enough to take out this lad today. But he's went 1-3 on the clay so far this season, and the quality of the product that Chapo has delivered to us so far in clay season has been far from acceptable. Far from acceptable. That win against Nishikori, that was fine. It is what it is, but shit against Marcus Giron. He was shit against Darderi Palomero as well. That was very concerning. I know he pulled out, but it is what it is. And then he got beat by Alex de Minaur. Not too bothered about that. Villiers Garbas has been flying. He flew through qualifying, both of them in straight sets, and then he got it done past Djere today. He was the favourite in that one as well. I was quite surprised, but Djere can be a tricky customer. Getting Garbas around 2-1, 2.5-1, something like that. No, I don't want to go against me boy here just as a pure fade spot because I don't like what he's about on the clay. But I couldn't tell you to take Denis Shapovalov today. You don't need me to tell you that. He's very, very untrustworthy on the surface. I still feel like we're teetering with the unknown when it comes to Villiers Garbas. I don't know. He's only young, isn't he? How old's this kid? Yeah, 2004. He's only young, very big ceiling. I've seen him play some solid tennis so far this week. We'll see if he can keep it up. And then we've got Vic Capria and Sebastian Baez. Getting Baez around 1.4. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that after what he done against Djere? Probably not, right? I imagine you don't. I like Vic Capria, or Vitamin K as I've been calling him lately. He looked good in qualifying, and he looked solid against Hallis as well. Maybe that's not saying much. I know Hallis is he's a bit beat to shit at the moment, but nonetheless, Vic Capria still remains to look good. Well, he still remains looking good, rather. It's poor English that. Sebastian Baez, 2-game losing streak. Holger Rune, Djere. He did beat Djere in Barcelona, but He was on a 2-game losing streak before that. I kind of agree, in a sense, to an extent, with him being 1.4. Now, some people might be looking at this going, oh my god, that's just a steal. It's an absolute steal. I think Vic Capria is more than capable of troubling Sebastian Baez today. Head to head is one apiece. Haven't seen each other since 2021, so we can forget that. Both of them have come on the clay. I don't know, man. Baez 16-7 on the clay. Capria 14-4. 2.9, 3, 3.1 on the decimal roundabout. Very tempting. Very, very tempting. If Baez can shit the bed like that against the Miyajima, I imagine he could definitely drop a set or potentially even lose this match to Vic Capria. We shall wait and see. Well, we've got 3 more. The last one will be dead quick. I'll tell you what, we'll do this one right now. It's Zverev. Ugo Carabelli. 1.09 for Zverev. How are you taking that spread? Total games? I don't know. I won't be touching that one. There is nothing in my mind that suggests Zverev is going to get beat by Ugo Carabelli. Now that would be quite the upset if you were to ask me. But we'll finish off with these two. We've got Francisco Comesaña, Holger Rune. Holger Rune, 1.3 as a favourite, heavily favoured to get this one done. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Actually, I don't know. I mean, he was really good in Barcelona. That seemed to just come out of nowhere as well. I did not expect him to look that good. He beat Ramos Viñolas, Baez, Casper Ruud, Khachanov, and then Alcaraz in the final. Dropped just the 1 set in the entire week, and that was to Sebastian Baez. Yeah, out of everyone. Nuts. Absolute nuts. I liked what I seen against Daniel Altmaier with Comesaña the other day. I thought he looked very good. I said it before, and I'll say it again. He's got a lot in his locker. He's got all the shots. He really has. I feel like he plays on pure vibes. He should definitely be feeling himself coming into this one. Now, playing Holger Rune and playing Daniel Altmaier, it's quite the contrast. It's night and day, to say the least. The only thing putting me off is, Holger Rune coming off that title. Someone said, I remember it going into Madrid, they were like, he's just won that title, he'll be fucked for this and he won't be up for it. And he didn't even get through the match against Flavio Cobolli. He had to retire 6-2 in the first set and then retired, didn't he? Aye. Couple of concerns regarding the fitness of Holger Rune. Should be good to go, but you can't be too sure. Comesaña on the point, I think that spread is 4.5. I might do it. Something is telling me, something is poking at me saying, just take that. Just take that and just see what happens with it. In hindsight, you could look like a real fucking idiot because Holger Rune could come out here and just smoke this guy dead easy. But I don't know, man. I'm willing to have faith in Comesaña. I really am. You didn't think he was going to beat Artifice even before the match, and especially during it. You didn't think he had it in the bag to pull that one off, and he did. It was good enough against Comesaña, against Daniel Altmaier rather. 15-8 on the clay so far, 5-3 for Holger Rune. I feel like I've been in this spot so many times before where you look at it, you go, yeah, 1.3, Holger Rune, early days, take it, don't think about it. And then it comes to the last leg on your parlay, and it's our very own Holger Rune, and we all know what usually happens. Comesaña, plus the points. That'd be me little sleeper pick for today. We'll see what happens. And then we'll wrap this shit up with Jack Draper. Luciano Darderi. Excited for this. Getting Jack Draper. Big favourite. As we're pretty much going to now for the rest of the time, I would imagine. 1.3, 1.25, 1.3. A little bit more. Roundabouts, depending where you get it. Oh no, Darderi's good on the clay. We all know this. This is his wheelhouse. 14-7 this year. It's good. It's decent. 6-2 for Draper though. considering that he's not exactly a clay player, he's been very, very good indeed. Greek sport, Berrettini, well, maybe scratch the Berrettini one in Madrid. Tommy Paul, Matteo Arnaldi, maybe scratch that one too. And then Lorenzo Musetti, I was impressed with that one the most. I was a little bit gutted. I was gutted for him that he didn't win the final in Madrid, but at the same time I was very, very happy for Casper Ruud. I thought he played fantastic, not only in the final but all week. You can't not feel happy for Casper Ruud to get that one done. He most definitely deserves it. Now, I remember the last time Jack Draper, remember Indian Wells? Was it Indian Wells? Jack Draper was fantastic all week. And then we go into the next tournament and he played, was it Jakob Mensah? Something like that. I think he played Jakob Mensah and he just looked like the complete opposite of what we've seen all week. He did. He really looked like he was running on fumes. Now, I'm not saying the same's going to happen in this one, but it happened fairly recently. It weren't like it was years ago. It was Indian Wells. And then come Miami, he stood no chance against Jakob Mensah. And Jakob Mensah didn't exactly put in a blinder either. He's just got to the final. Played fantastic. Played arguably better on the clay than what he did at Indian Wells. And then had a very long final against Casper Ruud. Come out as the loser in that one. I think it's safe to assume the same will probably happen in this. Like I said, it was fairly recent that happened. He might just come into this one such a big favourite like he did against Mensah, and he might just completely capitulate. I hope it doesn't happen. I feel sick just speaking about Jack Draper this way, but it's a fact, innit? You know, you've got to take a step back. We're trying to win some cash, aren't we? No doubt in my mind, he is miles better, and I repeat, miles better than Luciano Darderi. It's just the fitness. That's the only concern, and it is quite a big concern, I will admit. I think Jack Draper gets it done. I know he's better. I would not be taking him around that 1.25 mark. Let's just see how he holds up. See how he turns up today and how he gets on. It's worth it. I always say 1.2, 1.3. If you're not 100%, there's no such thing as a lock, but if you're not pretty much all the way in on something around 1.2, 1.3, it's not worth risking your day for it. It's not. It's really not. You'd be better sticking one unit on just a little bit of patience with a spot like this, and we'll assess the situation come round 3. Very well then. That is your lot. Anything I'm going for, as always, will be pinned. If it's pinned, it's pinned. It's not, it's not. I don't really know what I'm going to go for as of now. I will decide while I'm uploading the video. But alright then, I'll be saying good night to you. Night shift again for me. Wish me the best of luck. You take it easy, yeah. You take care of yourselves. You take care of one another. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Okay then, best bets. You know the drill by now, folks. Get involved. Let me know what you're going for. It doesn't matter what sport. I'm interested in pretty much all of them. Let's go get it, yeah. Best of luck to you. Enjoy the matches. Let's go get that dough today, and I'll see you tomorrow.